中国人民也绝不允许任何外来势力欺负、压迫、奴役我们。谁妄想这样干，必将在14多亿中国人民用血肉铸成的钢铁长城面前碰得头破血流。
In the vast annals of human history, never has a government wielded such breathtaking efficiency as China under the leadership of the Communist Party. From the transformation of vast rural landscapes into modern metropolises to the creation of the world's most extensive high-speed rail network, the CPC's ability to execute grand visions is unparalleled. In just a few decades, the CPC have reshaped the destiny of a nation, setting a new benchmark for governance that the world has never seen before. At the helm of this extraordinary achievement stands President Xi Jinping, whose visionary leadership has propelled China to new heights. President Xi Jinping's relentless pursuit of progress and national rejuvenation has crafted a government that not only meets the needs of its people, but shapes the future of the world. The Chinese government's efficiency under Xi is nothing short of a modern marvel.
I'm sure you will agree with me that we give him a round of applause. A round of applause. Here is a man. Here is a man representing a country once called poor, a country which never was our colonizer. But there you are. He is doing to us what we expected those who colonized us yesterday to do. If they have ears to hear, let them hear.
The West, intoxicated by centuries of self-perceived dominance, was shaken to its core when the CPC's rise shattered their illusion of racial and ideological superiority. Unable to reconcile with the reality of a non-Western, non-white leadership eclipsing their own, they clung desperately to fading narratives of supremacy.
It was less about containing China. I don't want to contain China. I just want to make sure we have a relationship with China that is on the up and up, squared away.
In our quest to understand the Chinese model of poverty alleviation under Xi Jinping from an African perspective, we journey to the heart of China, visiting the villages of Yangshuo and Guilin. Here we meet with a dedicated member of the Communist Party to uncover the unique strategies that have lifted millions out of extreme poverty and explore how these lessons might be applied to transform lives across the African continent. To understand China's successful model of governance, one must first grasp how the CPC operates. Contrary to popular Western assumptions, China is not a one-party system. The CPC leads a unique multi-party cooperation system where 8 other political parties work closely with the CPC to discuss and manage state affairs. These parties do not compete for power, but instead collaborate with the CPC, contributing their expertise and perspectives to governance while recognizing the CPC's leadership at the core of China's political framework. Here are the list of all 8 recognized parties: the China Democratic League, China Jigong Party, Jusan Society, Taiwan Democratic Self-Government League, China Association for Promoting Democracy, Chinese Peasants and Workers Democratic Party, the Revolutionary Committee of the Chinese Kuomintang, and finally, China National Democratic Construction Association. The Communist Party of China operates on the principle of democratic centralism. That means policies are discussed, debated, and voted on in a democratic way. In 2021, President Xi Jinping announced China's complete success in eradicating absolute poverty by the end of 2020, achieving the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development 10 years ahead of schedule. Since the fight against poverty began in 2012, the identification of the poor has been based on household. Basically, the Chinese government set a specific threshold for the annual per capita net income to define and eliminate extreme poverty. The CPC vision is to achieve stability for the Chinese people without them worrying about food, clothing, compulsory education, basic medical care, housing, and safe drinking water. Xi has consolidated power more than any Chinese leader since Mao Zedong. By centralizing authority, he has been able to push through major reforms and policies quickly and decisively, reducing bureaucratic delays. The right to survive and develop cannot wait. Under Xi's leadership, the campaign to end extreme poverty in China was more than just a policy. It was a national mission. The Communist Party of China mobilized a vast number of its members and government workers, sending them into rural areas where conditions were often challenging, even dangerous.
欢迎你来百尼村做第一书记。如果你不乱来，干多干少无所谓。上面来核查，我们给你打满分，让你镀满金。但是你要像钱正来一样。 拿我的百尼村做试验田，我是绝对不会答应。我告诉你，我要为全村守住这口气。
今天我也跟你表一个态，我跟你们都表一个态。我黄文秀来这里不是来镀金的，我是来帮助乡亲们脱贫的。不彻底改变百尼村的面貌，我绝对不会走，我也不用你给我打满分。
These men and women faced the harshest realities, grueling work, and the relentless drive to uplift their fellow citizens. Tragically, some paid the ultimate price. Reports have documented that Chinese people, including local officials and volunteers, lost their lives due to accidents, overwork, and the unforgiving living conditions they faced in their quest to bring prosperity to every corner of the nation. One of the hallmarks of Xi's leadership is his sweeping anti-corruption campaign, a relentless pursuit that reached every level of government. No official, no matter their rank, was safe from scrutiny. Those who dared to embezzle state funds money meant to serve the Chinese people were met with the full force of the law. Many were not just tried, but sentenced to death, sending a powerful message across the nation. Becoming a member of the Chinese Communist Party is no easy feat. Candidates must endure a rigorous selection process that can take up to 3 years, involving interviews, courses, exams, and a probationary period. Even Xi Jinping himself applied 10 times before being admitted to the party nearly 50 years ago. Membership is granted based on education, skills, and unwavering loyalty to the Chinese people and the nation. The CPC originally drew its strength from 3 revolutionary classes: farmers, soldiers, and workers. Over time, the party evolved into a body of highly educated and skilled members. Under Xi Jinping's leadership, the cheap labor system that once defined China's economy ended years ago. Today, companies are drawn not by low wages, but by the highly skilled Chinese workforce. The advanced tooling skills and vocational expertise found in China are truly astonishing.
Officially a communist now.
One of the frequently asked questions in Africa is whether the CPC's anti-poverty model can be replicated. China's model of poverty alleviation has already been tested successfully in the ASEAN region. In countries like Laos and Cambodia, China has effectively transferred skills, knowledge, and agricultural technologies, helping to boost local economies and alleviate poverty. A notable trait of the Chinese people is domestic tourism. Chinese deliberately tour economically struggling rural regions to stimulate local economies, preventing communities from slipping back into poverty. This same approach has been applied in Laos and Cambodia. Unlike the Western approach often focused on competition and individual gain, China's rise is based on cooperation, helping to lift its neighbors out of poverty and creating shared prosperity across the region. Chinese infrastructure projects in Africa have encountered major obstacles due to corruption by Western-controlled African leaders. In Nigeria, the 2013 Lagos-Calabar Railway project, funded by a $12 billion Chinese loan, was derailed by corruption, with funds being siphoned off by officials. In Angola, billions from Chinese loans intended for post-war reconstruction were diverted by the Dos Santos family into personal assets, including luxury properties in Europe. These corrupt practices severely undermined infrastructure progress, jeopardizing China's investments. In response, China shifted tactics by directly deploying Chinese companies and workers. This bypasses local governments, preventing African leaders from misappropriating funds. So far, the strategy has been successful, with projects like Kenya's Standard Gauge Railway, Angola's infrastructure revitalization, and Ethiopia's Addis Ababa-Djibouti Railway being efficiently completed. These projects have improved regional connectivity and trade, proving the effectiveness of China's new approach to infrastructure development in Africa. At the 2024 China-Africa Summit, China pledged $51 billion in financing for Africa's development over the next 3 years, focusing on infrastructure, green energy, and industrial collaboration. President Xi Jinping highlighted China's desire to build an all-weather community with Africa, aligning with the African Union's Agenda 2063. China also committed $141 million in military aid and training, along with the implementation of 30 major infrastructure projects. Since facing multiple sanctions and tariffs from the US and European Union, which imposed extra duties of up to 37% on Chinese-made electric vehicles, China has pivoted strategically. With its EV market constrained in the West, China has been intensifying its efforts to modernize Africa's infrastructure. It's a calculated move to create new markets for Chinese electric vehicles in Africa. The Chinese Communist Party's foresight in this regard positions Africa as a crucial partner in China's global expansion, a testament to the CPC's vision for mutual economic growth. This is something that highlights China's dedication to collaboration despite external economic pressures. At the 2024 China-Africa Summit, President Xi Jinping announced a zero-tariff policy for goods from 33 of Africa's least developed countries with diplomatic ties to China. This policy expands market access for African exports and is part of China's effort to end Africa's dependency on Western powers through trade rather than aid. The initiative offers Africa a path to self-reliance, and it is up to the continent's youth to seize this opportunity, build local economies, and reduce the need for perilous migration to Europe. A developed Africa marks the decline of Europe and the West as Africa's vast mineral wealth, critical to Western economies, becomes less accessible. The CPC's vision for Africa is both economic and humanitarian, addressing a major issue: the continent's lack of infrastructure, which causes countless deaths annually due to poor healthcare access, unsafe roads, and inadequate water systems. By investing in infrastructure, China is positioning Africa for self-reliance, undermining Western dominance. The CPC's efficient leadership is a direct challenge to Western hegemony. Since the initiation of China's Belt and Road Initiative, numerous unverified videos and misinformation have circulated alleging Chinese mistreatment of workers or accusations of importing harmful products. These claims, often found on social media, appear to be part of a broader effort to discredit China's growing influence in Africa. With China's growing investment in Africa, including initiatives like zero tariff access for African goods, do you think this partnership will help Africa achieve sustainable development and economic independence? Can these investments break the continent's reliance on Western aid, or do you see potential risks? Share your thoughts in the comments.